And we're clapping. Stand by. Hey everybody, welcome back to RATTLECAN FAB Shop. What I learned at school this week, semester dose. Anyways, it's the summer semester. It's weird. A normal class on summer semester would be 12 weeks long. You can also have an A or a B term, which is 8 weeks long. Same amount of content, just... And then you have something called a flex pace class. I have one of those as well. So anyways, let's get started. Monday, I have Interpersonal Communications because apparently having 5 grown children, 3 YouTube channels, and having taken Interpersonal Communications during I think was Reagan president? I don't know, it was a long time ago. Apparently none of that counts. So I get to learn how to communicate interpersonally all over again. I sit in a very, very small desk, and I am not a very, very small guy, so it is somewhat comical in nature, and we just sit around and we talk. It's painful, but you do what you got to do. Interestingly enough, I get points for showing up, but other than that, I don't really get points for anything. The only things that I do that are actually graded are done online. It's a new world, kids. That is a 12-week class, twice a week. I do that on Monday and Wednesdays. Also on Mondays and Wednesdays, from 5:30 to 9:30, I'm in advanced machining class, and that one is off to the races because it's only an 8-week class. We meet twice a week, and we're screwed out of 2 Sundays because of holidays. So that'll be fun. And we are literally off to the races because we're had a kind of a brief intro. This is what's expected. This is what you got to do. Here's your print. Go forth and create. So in basic machining, you're handed a process sheet, and that process sheet kind of tells you what you're supposed to do. This one, it's the print, and you have to figure out what you're going to do. You have to figure out all your feeds and speeds and what your order of operations is going to be. And I mean, you can ask the instructor and stuff like that, but it's kind of up to you because this is, advanced machining. So right off the get-go, we're making 1, 2, 3 blocks. I'm going to do machinist talk here for a minute. We're holding parallel and perpendicular to 2/10. If you're a math person, 10th means the number to the right of the decimal point. If you're a machinist, 10th means 10,000ths of an inch. So it's 0.0002 of an inch, which can be somewhat of a challenge, especially if you got big stumpy fingers like I do. So we're putting, they're called 1, 2, 3 blocks because they're 1 inch by 2 inches by 3 inches. And they're used quite frequently in machining operations. It's just one of those tools that you'll make them and you'll use them for the rest of your life. And oftentimes when you go out on a job interview, they'll say, bring us something you made. And if you have a print, that's even better because then they compare what you are supposed to make with what you actually made and see how good a machinist you are. So we're making those, and I found out on my first day that I needed to pay a little more attention because I was flustered about getting one thing done and forgot this little thing called square. Yeah, square matters. And so that was an hour and a half wasted. So we got to start over again on that one. At least it was early enough in the process, it wasn't too painful. And then throughout this week, I've gotten my 2 blocks machined square. I have got my my little, I don't know what you call it, your name divot, name trench, name slot, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I've got that machined out, and then today I finished, there are 6 half-inch drilled and reamed holes, and then there are 2 holes that were drilled and countersunk to hold a a cap screw, a hex-headed cap screw. And so we just took big blocks and made them into little blocks. That's what we did. Did that on Tuesday and Thursday, and then of course open labs. I'm there as much as I can be. Tuesday at 8 in the morning, I am in math for technologists, and it's machine shop math. Here's what's interesting is I take this over at Building 20, which is a building I had not been into before. It has a lovely view of the Dayton skyline, looking across the Great Miami River. And it is home to the auto program, and it is an exceedingly nice building. My class is up on the 2nd floor, and you can walk through and you can see a number of the different bays that they have. There's engine bay and transmission and suspension, and there's all kinds of stuff there. It looks like it's a very well laid out program in a fairly new building. So that's where we take math class at, and that's a 2.5 hour class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so that's 3 of my 4 classes. What do we do? We're doing fractions. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions, because you do it a lot. So we learn how to do that a lot. Converting things to decimals. It's 7th grade math, 8th grade, 9th grade math, somewhere in there. But if you haven't done it in a million years, or if you have been in another field of mathematics and you kind of need a refresher course, it'll be a good one. Instructor is a machinist. There are 2 other machinists in there, 1 electrician, and the rest of the guys are auto shop guys. So since it's a machinist book, or at least a machinist slanted book, like the guy next to me, he's a mechanic guy. He's not a machinist. So we're looking at this print, and I get to explain some things to him that is kind of every day in our world and not every day in their world. Where you talk about if they're calling out a hole and saying circumference is 1/2 inch, typical times 6. That's not something you normally encounter in the world of automotive repair. So we get to help them out with that a little bit. And then I'm in a flex pace course, which means in theory you can go at the speed that you want to go. I have completed the first milestone. I'm waiting for that PowerPoint presentation to be graded, which will then tell me if I need to finish the rest of the PowerPoint presentation or if I can move on. I noticed that there's actually 2 sets of instructions. And one of the sets of instructions talks about that you have to have like a cartoon or an illustration in your slides. The set of instructions I was going off of did not have that, so I may have to bring that up and see if we can resolve that discrepancy so some other person doesn't get hosed. And it is, I'm not kidding you guys, it is sending emails, sending letters in Word, formatting, setting up an Excel spreadsheet. It's so hopefully we can get through that pretty quick. And that's been the week. I did visit the fantastic Mexican food truck the other day. Oh my gosh, even their nachos are just fantastic. That was good. I may or may not have gone to see a band last weekend with a buddy of mine. We've been going to see this band since I think 80 or 81. It's the first time we saw this band together. And then let's see, whom else? Yeah, I think that's about it. Shed project delayed. If you want to know all the hoopla, as soon as it's, in theory, it'll be done this week. It'll all be over on Mrs. Rattlecan's channel. Anyways, that's what I learned at school this week. If you got questions, comments, put them in the comment section below. Be sure to click like if you think this was mildly entertaining, educational, or both. Hit the subscribe button if you want to know the next time I talk about the taco truck. Yeah. Anyways, you guys have a good weekend. Remember, if I can do it, you can do it. Cheers. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to spend it here with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Here's one that you might enjoy as well. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that button. Hit the bell next to it so that you get a notification when we drop a new video. If you've got comments, put them down beneath the sermon notes. And remember, if I can do it, you can do it. You guys have a great weekend. Cheers.